Hey guys, we're getting a lot of requests to talk about the rig that we were using in our most recent shoot. So I just want to take a moment to kind of go through the gear that we had on set and what we were using. For this particular shoot, we actually chose a rail system, a nice light rail system. This one happens to be made by Redrock Micro. The reason we picked it after we did a bunch of research, we're pretty happy with the construction. Let me just pull apart a few of these things. We modified it a bit. The core of the unit is actually their DSLR rig called the Captain Stubling rig, which is this rig right here. And it's specifically designed for DSLR, handheld, or like you saw, I popped it on a tripod. So it's a real basic rig using 15mm rails, which is an industry standard. I like using rail systems. They're very flexible. I can pull things apart. I can make modifications. And I can take a thumb screw, loosen it, change the angle on something, and then tighten it up, and there it is. This is probably one of their spendier DSLR rigs, but you can build your way up. The best thing about these rigs is you can buy individual parts and build it out as you need it. This one came with a follow focus unit, which was really nice, and I always like to keep my follow focus marker with me. When using follow focus, I always like to get an adapter and go with a manual lens, regardless of the camera system I'm using, because I just feel like the gearing works very well. Sometimes on these quasi-manual lenses, when you reset, the settings change and it sort of redefaults and messes up all your markings on your follow focus. So highly recommend whatever camera you're using, get an adapter, go with a fully manual lens whenever possible. That being said, this great little rig. We left a little bit of leeway on the end here so I could pop it on a tripod plate, which also happened to have a 15mm coupling on it, which I pulled from another unit, which is what we do all the time. I pulled a Mattebox, again, 15mm on this part, from another rig we had. So we had this Mattebox. I know Redrock makes their own, a bunch of them, you know, Chrosziel, a ton of Matteboxes you can buy. So I used this one that we had in our shop, popped it on. This we mainly used for polarized filters. I'm a big fan of Matteboxes because I can buy one set of filters and use them on all the different lenses. I don't have to buy, you know, 72mm, 82mm. I just get a bunch of 4x4s, and regardless of the lens behind it, pop the Mattebox in front, use it as needed. We were using Polarize because we were shooting through a glass window effectively for some special effects shots, and I wanted to get rid of some of the reflection. Worked great for our purposes. I used a little bit of shielding to make sure I didn't get reflections inside the Mattebox, but everything worked out really well. Took the whole unit, put it on a tripod head, put that tripod head on a slider unit. These are becoming very popular with DSLR videography. This happened to be made by Zaza Slider, which is a nice low-cost unit. They've taken parts from machining and created a slider unit. So it works really well for doing crawls, and if I want to do a pull or a push into a shot, worked excellent for everything we wanted. They start to have a maximum weight capacity. So this is a great slider, you just don't want to go above a certain weight for it. Again, I highly recommend a rail system over custom units for, say, you know, handheld or shoulder mount, because you can pull parts and reconstruct rigs as you need. We actually were introduced to Redrock stuff through their shoulder mount unit, which we used on a previous shoot. And you can see it's the same parts. I can pull my handlebars from my shoulder mount and put them on another unit. I could create custom units. I could put this whole thing on the rail, put counterbalances. Because it's 15mm, I can slide parts on and off. I can use parts from other 15mm units. So if I have parts from a different manufacturer, as long as they're the same rail system, same gauge, they tend to work right out of the box with each other. Overall, had a lot of good things to say about the unit. Loved the quality. Construction was really good. Worked well with all the cameras we used, so if you guys have any more questions, feel free to let us know. Otherwise, we'll keep on trucking and try and do a few more shoots for you.